Hey, my name is Jack Cook, and I'm here to let you know. I am a director and also a content creator, and if that was not an option, I have no idea what I would be doing. I do think my younger self would be proud. When I was 18, I started to fall in love with filmmaking, and since then it's been my goal to make a career out of filmmaking, which in the past 12 months I've been able to do. So I think my younger self would be proud that I achieved that goal. I would say when you're on the path to figuring it out, you have to try 100 different things to find out what that thing is that you enjoy the most. And when you find out what that thing is, you can focus on it and attack it. And by allowing yourself to try different things, you give yourself the freedom to find your own voice. I think if you don't try things, you end up putting yourself in a box, or you end up being somebody else. You end up being somebody that somebody else thinks that you should be, rather than who you really want to be. And I think that's process of self-discovery comes from trying different things until you find that one thing that really hits. It really makes you tick. I am personally proud of where I am. I think there's still a lot more that I want to do, but in this current moment, I think it's always important, even if you have a lot of things that you do want to achieve, that in the present moment, you're proud of where you are and you're proud of the things that you've accomplished, because I think it allows you to be happy with yourself in the present moment. I think the hardest thing right now mentally is learning how to make the jump from taking what is my creative passion and making a career out of it to making it a long-term scalable business. If that makes sense. I have to get to the point where if I want to keep doing this for a long time, I have to support a family, support other people around me, and mentally it's hard to think about how to get there. I think I have to break it down into the minute, day by day, just putting in the work, each extra step. But thinking about how that's going to play out in a 5-year span is tough for me mentally. I'm starting to see a little bit of the benefits of that, but it's going to be that part of the mental game is kind of a marathon. And so it's going to take a long time for me to get there. But as long as I continue to put in the work, I think it'll pay off. Live with purpose, which means, no, actually I don't think that. I think when you live with intention, let me think about it. How to say it. I think when you're living with intention, you're focused on being very present and not always necessarily focused on yourself. Being intentional, I think a lot of it comes down to being intentional with other people in your life, the community that you surround yourself with. And I think if you are an intentional person, which hopefully it's good intentions. Let me think about how to say that. I don't know. This is kind of a tough one. I'm thinking of how to describe being a very present person, being good to other people who are around you, and living with intent is having good intentions with every action. As long as you have good intentions behind every action, you're present with people that are around you, builds a good character. I want to work on being less forgetful. I can be sometimes a little bit too in my head about the things that I'm doing with like work and other responsibilities that take me out of being present sometimes. I know you said not work, but sometimes work and life, I can be really in my head about it, and that sort of makes me not focus on the present as much, and then I can end up being forgetful about simple things, which I shouldn't be forgetful about. I think I always want to work on like being a better communicator. I think communication with everyone is really important always, and I try to have the best intentions with my communication. I'm always trying to have the best communication with everyone in all my relationships in life, but I think there's always room to improve your communication with like partner or your friends or acquaintances or whoever. So always trying to improve my level of communication with people. And I also want to improve, I guess this is a little bit about work, but I need to sometimes, when I'm talking to like, I guess in like the corporate sense and stuff, but when I'm talking about work to other people, I need to value myself a little bit more. I think for a long time I had the idea of, you know, doing free work and doing people favors to kind of get my foot in the door. And that mentality can sometimes be hard to escape, because you think if you're not doing people favors all the time, you're not gonna get your foot in the door and lead to the next opportunity. But I think I'm now at the point where I need to look at myself and be like, hey, you are valuable and you don't have to just do people favors. You can kind of take a stand and put your foot down and be like, look, if you don't value me, then we probably shouldn't do this. And I think that'll probably bode well for the long-term goals I have in my professional career. My girlfriend Mallory is not feeling so great today. I think the travel, she's a little bit under the weather. So I went to the grocery store and I got her a couple of wellness shots, some vitamin C. I'm gonna probably go get her some food after this. She's not feeling great, so I want to make sure she's taken care of. I think people perceive me as being very chill, a gentle person, nice guy, which I think is mostly true. Just kind of like the way I was raised, I guess. I think it's pretty accurate the way people view me. I think I've become more self-aware of the way people view me because of my girlfriend, because she's a very like, she reads people very well, and she'll also like tell you the type of person that you are. And so I don't think I always had like the self-awareness to know that that's who I was, but she's like, no, this is like how you are, you know? So I feel like I've learned more about who I am and how people perceive me through her, if that makes sense. I think this is probably dual. Like, this is something that I probably want to work on as well as most people will probably say about me. But I think in like public scenarios, I'm pretty introverted, and I think I would like to change to being a little bit more extroverted and like willing to better at like meeting people and mingling and like making conversation. Sometimes in like big scenarios, if it's like a party or something, I could be like, you know, just talking to like the few people that I know. And so I think people would probably say that I'm more introverted than I am extroverted, but I'd like to be more in the middle. High school and college, I wasn't necessarily the most popular person. I wasn't like the high school quarterback and the person that like everybody knew, who everybody thought was so cool. So I think I was a little bit more reserved when it came to like being in big social environments. And so I think it's just continued to carry on in my life. And I think I definitely knew that when I was in high school and college. So that made me more reserved, because I knew that I wasn't necessarily like the person who was considered most popular and that could talk to whoever, and you know, all the like social politics of high school and college. And I think it's continued even like in the present day in my life. I think especially after college, it's like, who cares, you know? And I probably because of that, maybe miss out opportunities on meeting people or, you know, striking up a good conversation, because I tend to be a little bit more reserved. Jack Cook, you have a good heart and you care about people. You care about the people around you and you want them to succeed and you want them to be taken care of. And I think that that's a good attribute that you have.
Good shit, my boy.
You like it?
That was beautiful.
Cool.
You did a fantastic job.